com and the director of the Houston Comedy Film Festival, the original, our first festival ever, and we are going to finish up the year with Houston Comedy Film Festival Fall 2022 on November the 12th with our final event of the year. We're screening all kinds of comedy content, everything from funny music videos to series episodes, dark comedy, sketch comedy, romantic comedy, horror comedy, you name it. If it's intended to make you laugh, we are going to be screening it. We have a great showcase for you that's going to be a little bit over 4 hours of content on Saturday at the 14 Pews Theater. And today we are joined by Ashlee Heath, whose film Hi is nominated for an award, the Best Mockumentary Film Award at Houston Comedy Film Festival. And we are so excited to screen it. Thank you for joining me, Ashlee.
Thanks for having me.
You have done so well. Every single time we put this film in front of an audience, the Georgia judges love it. We'll be screening at Georgia Comedy, and I didn't even know you were from Georgia, but there we go. The judges in Houston like it a lot, and of course we just screened it in Austin, and it brought down the house. So your team, whether you know it or not, is just superstars wherever you go, and
Awesome.
I really appreciate you sending us quality work.
Oh, well, I appreciate you choosing us to showcase us. So we worked really hard on it. So
good stuff. Well, I don't want to give it away. And when I say the synopsis, I usually reveal too much. So can you please tell us about this in your own words?
So the new princess is sort of basically, it's the premise is that there is a meeting of the Disney princesses. They're at headquarters and there's a meeting, and their Disney liaison, Summer, comes in to give them some new news about a new princess that will be joining them. And when the new princess comes in, she's kind of the Gen Z version of Disney's new princess. And it's a little shock to the system. And she just can bring all the kind of drama and flair and self-reflection that Gen Z has been doing for us via like TikTok or something lately.
So many laughs from this one. People really enjoy it. Why did you want to do this concept? Like, what was it?
So this was originally a stage sketch back in 2016 that a very talented stand-up comedian that's wrote for Sketchworks several times back then, named Neil Reddy, wrote, and it had a different name. The premise was slightly different, and we performed it in 2016 in the first version of an all-female sketch show that Sketchworks Comedy had done, and it was a huge hit. We really loved it, and in the process of that, I had edited the sketch because it just wasn't working quite the way it originally was. So I'd edited it some just to make it a little shorter and one through line because it was a brilliant sketch that Neil wrote. We needed it to work in a certain period of time for the show. So I had edited it down and we performed it. It was a huge hit. We loved doing it. So fast forward to right before the pandemic, not long before the pandemic, and we decided to bring back this all-female sketch comedy show called Heels, and we were going to do Heels Up. And the producer and director asked me if I wanted to turn the princess sketch into a short film, like a film sketch for the show. So I was like, I don't know. Let me think about it. So I sat down one day and turned it into a mockumentary. So I would say about maybe 60, 70% of the actual action in the film is kind of basically the same. She had me add about 3 or 4 additional princesses to the sketch and stuff like that. But some of that is basically the same. And then I wrote the mockumentary around it. So it just kind of became a whole different animal. And we were supposed to film it on March 14th of 2020. And you know how that went. Yeah. So the world shut down basically 2 days before that. So we scrapped it. And then finally filmed it in July of 2021 and finally put it out to the world earlier this year in 2022. And so we just wanted to, because I don't know if we grew up watching Disney films, Disney princesses, and, they're just these great films for, girls supposedly and children. And then when you really pay attention to them as an adult, you're like, oh, wait, there's a lot of problems with these storylines.
Yes, there is, which you do so well to point out. And it's very creative. Talk about your role. I mean, obviously you got the acting role here, but it looks like you've, obviously done a lot on this project. What did you learn from this? from this particular production?
I think the thing I learned most is that I might like directing more than being an actor. So this was my first time directing a film. And I loved it because you have more control over the storytelling process than you do as an actor. I did not want to be in it, but Julie made me be in it because I had been Sleeping Beauty in the original Aurora in the original sketch that we had done. And she was like, no, this, because we're all friends. We all love one another. And she's like, no, we have to have everybody. That's why we had to add 3 or 4. She kept adding princesses to it so we could include more people, more of the actresses that we work with a lot in it. And so I was like, let me just get someone else. And she was like, no, you have to be Aurora. I directed this thing in a very heavy and hot princess costume and in high heels. And I don't ever want to do that again. It was exhausting. And I just didn't care. My makeup was a mess half the time. When I see myself on screen, I cringe because I wasn't paying attention to that. I was just focused on directing. I had a really wonderful DP that worked with me, and I trusted him. He did all the editing as well, which was brilliant. I just told him, this is what I want. This is the vibe I want. I don't know if they sent you, did we send you the trailer for it? The horror kind of trailer for it?
Yes.
So I was so burned out by the time we cut this sketch because it initially came in at about 12 minutes or so, and we cut it down to 8. And I was so burned out for, making the edits and everything and exhausted. And I said, look, this is what I want the trailer to look like. And that's all I can tell you. I want it to be like a horror film with this kind of view. And he went and cut it. And I think it's a brilliant trailer. So I found that if you surround yourself with really talented people, especially a really good DP and editor, then that makes my job a lot easier. And it makes the product look a lot better.
It does, for sure. Well, that's good. You got the directing bug, I see. That's nice.
Yeah, I did. That is, I'm working on another short right now. Very different type of short, but yeah, working on that right now.
All right, good stuff. Well, is there anything I was going to ask you about your future projects? Is there anything you want to reveal about that, or is there any more to this series with the new princess? What's in the future?
I don't know if there will be another new princess or not. Definitely working with a partner here who's a writer, and she's written a short film. She's also part of Sketchworks. She wrote a short film that is kind of a dark comedy, kind of a drama with some just comedy in there. And so I will not be in that one. I am working on rewrites right now for it, and then we're hoping to shoot it sometime this winter. And so that's like my next directing. I'm like, people hire me to be your director, I will be very cheap and or free. That's what because I just want to get more into that. So because I've just been an actor for most of my adult life, not doing the other stuff. So but with Sketchworks, we did just bring back a musical parody that if we ever bring it to Texas, I'll let you know, because we won a bunch of awards before the pandemic for it. It's a musical parody of Grease, and we were ended up in federal court with the owners to the rights of Grease for almost 3 years, fighting them for the right to do the parody because they sent a cease and desist, and we won earlier this year, and we just brought it back to Village Theater in Atlanta this fall, and it was a big success again. So I think they're going to end up taking it on the road at some point.
Good for you. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was great learning about you and your project. It's just such a fun film, and hopefully people get to see it in Houston. If not, get to see it in Atlanta. So
yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Was there anything you want to add before we go?
I just want to thank the judges in Houston for including the new princess in your selections. We really appreciate it. We're honored.
Thank you. We appreciate the kind words. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
All right.